Domenikos Theotokopoulos, was born in Crete, Greece in 1541. He trained at Venice and Rome, and later at age 26 he worked in Titian's workshop and was influenced by Tintoretto's way of brushwork. After the mid-1570s, he moved to Toledo, Spain, and was given the nickname El Greco, which means the Greek. He stayed in Toledo until he died in 1614. The fashionable style at that time was the classical manner of Michelangelo, Raphael, and Titian. El Greco transformed these powerful influences into his own distinct, intense spiritual style, with its elongated forms, sweeping movement, and bright, sometimes unearthly colors. In this way, El Greco's work can be seen to epitomize the Manneristic movement in its height. The burial of Ruiz, the Count of Orgaz, the miraculous story of his burial at Santomine in the time of 1586 to 1588. Saints Augustine and Stephen lowered him into his tomb as an honor for his good deeds. El Greco used the story to make the burial of Count Orgaz, which became one of the most famous paintings to come out of the city. His most famous artwork, The Burial of the Count of Orgaz, is based on a legend which dates back to 1323. The Count was a deeply religious, charitable man. Interestingly, El Greco reinterpreted this myth in his own time, dressing the Count and his mourners in the 16th century fashions. El Greco, View of Toledo. The landscape is painted in a dramatic manner, with vivid vegetation in the foreground and tumultuous clouds that seem to be announcing a storm in the background. The city is depicted with gray tones, as it sits at a distance at the top of natural hills leading down into the Roman Alcantara Bridge. The buildings are depicted in a cloud-like form, an organically clustered agglomeration. El Greco approached the subject in the same manner as he did in other artworks, drawing inspiration from reality but remaining untrue to it. He invented the scene in order to convey emotions that he desired, besides the castle of San Servano being located correctly. All the rest of the buildings are derived from his imagination. El Greco Laocoon. The painting portrays the myth of Laocoon, a Trojan priest who, according to the legend, warned the locals about the Trojan horse, who also profaned the temple of God. As a consequence, giant serpents sent by angry gods killed him and his two sons. El Greco, the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity, painted between 1577 and 1579, depicts God holding a dying Christ in his arms, as they float amidst the clouds in heaven, with a dove of the Holy Spirit flying over their heads. Surrounding them are 6 angels in colored robes. Behind them, coming from above, is a bright golden light. The painting is a part of El Greco's first major commission for the Church of Santo Domingo in Toledo, and as soon as it was completed, it established him within the community as a reverend artist. El Greco, the Vision of St. John. This large canvas is considered another one of El Greco's masterpieces. It depicts a passage in the Bible, Revelation 6:9-11, which describes the opening for the 5th seal at the end of time. Primary type of art medium: painting, fine canvas, and viscous oil medium. Main characteristics of their artwork: El Greco used an early type of expressionism mixed with the end of the mannerism art to make a dramatic, spiritual style of art of his own. Artist impact on the art world. Why is it still remembered today? El Greco is considered the first landscape artist in the history of Spanish art, with his View of Toledo painting. The View of Toledo is also seen as an influence to expressionism art like Van Gogh's landscapes, such as the Starry Night painting, with its distorted vegetation and dramatic skies, and Edvard Munch's The Scream, with its dramatic, fluid-looking skies. El Greco inspired many artists like the famous Pablo Picasso. Picasso was infatuated by Greco's distortions of the body. What influenced the artist? Historical? Cultural? Other? The classical manner of Michelangelo, Raphael, and Titian. El Greco was trained to be a Greek image painter. Greco later traveled to Rome, then started living in Toledo, Spain, working under the Spanish King Philip II in 1577. Subject matter of each piece you talk about, artist intentions when they made their art. The Burial of Count Orgaz. The death of the Count was so miraculous, El Greco painted his own depiction of the scene. The art depiction includes an earthly and heavenly perspective. The legend in the town of Toledo. The view of Toledo is using expressionism to contort the town into a mysterious dark setting with a gloomy storm coming along. This represents Toledo, but Greco makes it his own with his imagination. Laocoon is a depiction of the death of Laocoon, Antiphanes, and Thymbrius. For their warning to fellow Trojans about the Trojan horse, El Greco's depiction seemed to have one son already dead to the serpents, while Laocoon and his other son struggle. El Greco, the Holy Trinity. Greco uses oddities like elongated bodies, unrealistic colors, and shapes representing the love for Christ that God felt, as well as the people felt. El Greco, the vision of St. John. The opening of the fifth seal, where all the martyrs speak unto God for the redemption of their deaths. Mood, feeling that they were trying to create. In El Greco's works, he goes for a sense of mystery and otherworldly depictions. His art leaves a question of how could this come to be, and how does this end? Inside of his pieces of contorted figures and controlled chaos. Quotes by the artist. I paint because spirits whisper madly inside my head. You must study the masters, but guard the original style that beats into your soul. Put to sword those who try to steal it. Artists create out of a sense of desolation. The spirit of creation is excruciating. His contemporaries said that Crete gave him life, and Toledo his brushes. What country or Italian city is the artist associated with? El Greco means the Greek. It's his nickname he was given after he moved to Toledo, Spain, which is the place where he lived for the rest of his life. But he was born and raised in Crete, Greece. Symbolism, hidden meaning, more than meets the eye. Other information that you feel is prevalent. El Greco was in an era where his style of art was everywhere, but many of his ideas, I would like to say, are more advanced than his peers. He cultivated the style, and many artists in the future adapted his style, and far in the future it was shaped into the era of Expressionism art. El Greco was a genius in painting the expression of emotion into people and places.